Welcome to the OIC, otherwise known as the Omnipresent Information Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Peterson.
And I'm the co-host, Noah Hansen. The Omnipresent Information Connection Podcast is all about your world and your unique walk on this path called life. We present fascinating, life-changing information from around the world that has been validated. We also authenticate the information by providing you with links to where you can find out more about what we are talking about on our show. In this short episode, we'll be laying out more of the intentions of the OIC podcast, more future plans that we are insanely excited about to be bringing you something so powerful in the near future. So your shares and your likes and your subscriptions are all very, very important to us, and we want to thank you personally if you've already done that. Because what we are doing is bringing the value of ourselves to the world to be able to make lasting positive change in people's lives with the information that's made lasting positive change in our lives.
A part of the Pay It Forward program that we are producing here with our program is that all contributions be able to go to our communities and our community outreach. And so this is a very important topic. It's a very important step in our lives together and being able to enrich our community, to be able to better our community. You have to understand it's in this troubled time that we're currently in, which is temporary, not permanent. We've been able to help so many people. So many people have been able to reach out to us and to be able to offer us many different things. And what we look forward most is just a simple like and a share.
Right.
We would like for you to become a very faithful Patreon subscriber. But understand is that this content is given to you for free with enriched endowment for you to be able to pay it forward to another human being. And if you like our content, if you like what we do, then part of that Pay It Forward program is being able to go to our Patreon and to be able to contribute to our Pay It Forward program so that we can be able to reach out to other people in the community on a constant basis, giving them rich and life-enhancing information that they need today.
Right, and upcoming we'll be showing you those actual community events that we'll be going to. Will be in some form or another, whether it's pictures, videos, or audio. We'll be showing you exactly what we are doing in our communities.
So Noah, explain to us what exciting things are coming for 2020.
Sure, it's best to start explaining the future plans with the things that are already up on our website, because there's a lot on our website that is up and it has been commented on and people are participating in it. However, it's not to the level of participation that we would like to see. We want to cultivate real conversations and conversations that are going to benefit people by having. We want to have conversations that are able to see the similarities in people's viewpoints rather than argue about our differences. We want to be able to create a safe space for anyone to talk about pretty much anything, any topic, as long as it's in a respectful way to the other people that are in that conversation. We want to cultivate the deeper conversations that will actually show people a more authentic way of being and more authentic information that isn't normally reported on in the mainstream media. So with all of that, we have forum pages on inanewway.com where we can have just lengthy discussions that are ongoing with whoever wants to jump in on them. We also have surveys where we want to be creating more and more surveys going into the future that are going to challenge people with real questions, and also the answers to these questions will be able to point out some really deep sort of topics and some really deep personal things and beliefs in people. The surveys that are already up are a survey on coincidence, a survey on truth and honesty, and then a survey on authenticity. So 3 really great subjects that you can already read people's answers, including my own, on those surveys at the forum page of inanewway.com. And then we have our future plans for this year, which are a sort of community outreach program. And this is just consisting of us participating in community events and showing you the benefit that we can bring to the communities surrounding us. So that's just sort of me and Kevin branching out into our communities surrounding us, but we also want to branch out to a smaller community, which would be small group settings, which we have many plans for different ideas we could do for small group settings that are already typed up and outlined in our own private business model. Would you like to talk about some of those small group ideas, Kevin?
Thank you, Noah. Small group ideas is being able to gather like-minded people to be able to either have a playing instrument and singing session, having a small group, maybe 10 to 25 people that can be able to gather around and be able to sing songs that really resonate with all of us in a group setting. We can be able to do that both online and in person in that event. And then the second event is being able to what I call the sunshine event. It's where we can be able to gather underneath the great sunshine that God has provided us, and to be able to harmonize and to be able to come together collectively in a forest setting or in a nature preserve setting, to be able to just enjoy and appreciate all the great beauty that God has given us. And then we can be able to then fellowship and to be able to socialize and have like a community picnic while being there, and just getting to know people and getting to know people in the community. And so there's that one.
Yeah, and that one can actually branch off into several other, events outside where we can do like a walking or hiking group. We can do just a sightseeing. We can do one that's we can talk about the beauty in nature and the science behind nature while we're on those excursions, and we can just show people little known areas in the area that are just gorgeous that people don't really know about. Mm-hmm. So highlighting some great community parks and things like that.
And then the other ones that have really been very successful are the men's morning breakfast group, getting like-minded men together to be able to talk about God and relationships and building relationships with God and with their spouses and significant others. And then there's a female group that my wife is a part of, and gathering the collective on being able to be the best woman in God's presence while radiating God's love to other women in the community. And so that's pretty powerful as well.
Yes, it is.
And,
yes, it is.
I think she calls it tea time with God. But basically, the bottom line is that these are all activities and events that are wholesome, pure, honest, sincere, genuine, and things that you would really enjoy wanting to be able to be a part of, because your voice is being heard first and foremost. Second, you're being surrounded by other like-minded men and women that really value you being there.
Right. This isn't going to be like a homework event. This is going to be something where you will look forward to it going every week or every month, whatever basis we're on with these events. And you're just going to really enjoy being there and enjoy the people that surround you. And it's going to be a group of like-minded people gathering for reasons that are pure, reasons that are positive, and positively affecting one another, making friends and things like that, but also talking about the real subjects. That's the main emphasis, is talking about the stuff that needs to be talked about in an interesting and a new way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Other than community outreach programs, we're actually going to be able to have other people on our podcast. Yay!
Right.
We're actually going to be having other podcasters. We're going to have other guest speakers to be able to come and talk about different topics, whether it be money, whether it be religion, whether it be social gatherings, or how to be able to be more intimate and be more socially aware of social distancing. Right? Mm-hmm. But we have all types of people coming in from all different walks of life that are going to be literally bringing rich, life-enhancing content to you every week.
Yes, because we want to bring people who are living the example, being the example in their lives of the information that they'll be talking about on our show.
Mm-hmm. And we will, every time that we do these podcasts, leave their links below so that you can be able to connect to them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, if you like, love, value, appreciate, or respect anything that we have to be able to say, we encourage you every day to be able to pay it forward, to be able to share that link, to be able to share our website, to be able to share the information, and to be able to literally get on the blogs, be able to get into our talk chat rooms, to be able to get into the environment that you feel most comfortable today. And then the last one is a book club, being able to choose one book for every 90 days or every 30 days or 60 days, whatever the group decides on, and to be able to read that book and then share the great comments and the commentary that is in the book and what you have learned from the book and how to be able to apply it in your everyday living.
Oh, yeah. And with you being a pastor and everything, we will have Bible studies that are sort of independent to our Omnipresent Information Connection podcast that are just going to really dive deep into the subjects of the Bible that are not talked about as much as they should be.
Absolutely, because it's important for you to be able to get the whole picture versus just a piece of a verse.
Yes, and having to not be afraid to ask the real questions, to not be afraid to actually be able to speak out and speak your mind and not feel like you're going to get shunned or looked down upon for asking those deep questions. We welcome them, you know?
Absolutely, because there is no such thing as a stupid question. Every question is valued because there is an answer out there, and we together will be able to discover it together.
Right. Yes, definitely. So we've just laid out some small group ideas, but we've got much, much more planned. We've actually got a wellness center in the works, and this wellness center could look several different ways, how it manifests. We actually want to get a chain of different storefronts in the future. If at all possible, we will be making it happen where we will have a wellness center as well as a coffee shop and a studio. Mm-hmm. And so those are some really cool and exciting ideas. Obviously, that takes a little more financial capability to be able to make that happen. But once we do make that happen, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous and something that people will be able to walk into a shop that they've never walked into anything similar before. Something so amazing and cool where you can actually see us do our broadcast right from our store. And you can meet with us one-on-one in that. And if you catch us in a off time, obviously, you can meet us one-on-one in that place. Otherwise, set up a scheduled meeting with us. So anything to add to that, Kevin?
Well, when we're talking about the community center, when we're talking about being able to enrich other people's lives, is that this community center is, and I hate using this kind of phrase, but it's the only thing to be able to say, it is going to be unique in the manner and the way that it's being done. All too often, there are set rules and guidelines and restrictions on certain things when it comes to community centers. This community center is going to be like-minded people getting together to be able to do like-minded things for the glory of God.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and sharing different bits of wisdom like the growth mindset, training people in the growth mindset, actually having productive small group settings or even one-on-ones where we can really help people to reach the point and reach the goals that they want to reach.
Yep, and we're going to have life coaches, we're going to have psychiatrists, we're going to have psychologists, mm-hmm. We're going to be able to have yoga instructors. We're going to have the whole works all in one facility so that all you have to do is come to one place, and we'd like to be able to call it home.
That's right. Yes. We want you to be family as soon as you step into this building that we'll establish in the future.
Absolutely. On top of that, we're going to be teaching, training, motivating, directing, and guiding other people on how to be able to do a successful podcast as well. And then moving forward in the future, we're going to be able to have podcasting booths that people can be able to rent, just like a recording studio, to where you don't need to be able to bring all your fancy equipment. You just can come with your content, and you'll have your own private booth to be able to do your podcast in.
Yes. So lots of exciting stuff in the works, and that we are already planning out, already putting on pen and paper, and being able to map that out for our future. Now, how long-term and how short-term these things will be manifesting, it's mostly up to our listeners and our contributing base. We have a Patreon where you can contribute $1, $2, $3 a month to be able to really just help us out. On top of that, when you do subscribe to our Patreon as a monthly contributor, you'll get added benefits that are outlined on that website.
Yes, many bonuses.
That's right.
And so just to be able to quickly expound upon that is that the bonuses of being able to be a Patreon subscriber to our podcast is that you'll be able to get behind-the-scenes information, behind-the-scenes view of not only what we do, but how we do it. And then on top of that, you'll be able to be the first people to be able to experience the new merchandise that we're going to be rolling out as far as being able to see it before the rest of the public is to see it. On top of that, you'll be able to get discounts for your contributions as well, so it's a part of paying it forward program, and that way you can be able to buy gifts for your friends, family, relatives, acquaintances at discounted prices that really resonates with everyone that you give it to.
That's right, because we don't want to put any item out on the market that anything that we're selling is going to be something that we believe can honestly and truly benefit people and be a positive influence on their life. That's the whole scheme of this entire podcast, is to be able to make it positively oriented, something that's beneficial.
Mm-hmm. And so what you have a vision for on a T-shirt, on a ball cap, on a pen, everyday usable items, whatever it is that you're wanting to be able to give as a gift to another person, just let us know, and then we can be able to put that on that for you and to be able to get it shipped back out to you.
Yes, indeed. And then I also want to add, because you mentioned that they could bring their ideas to us. Mm-hmm. You can also bring podcasting and video ideas to us, where we will take into consideration something that you are needing some guidance or some wisdom or some clarity on. Me and Kevin would be able to speak about whatever subject it is to the best of our ability, be able to sort that out for you and put it on a podcast so you can just listen to our next podcast and gain some clarity from that.
Absolutely. And so whatever the topic is, just let us know, and then we will be able to, as these topics come in, we'll be able to take them in order from which we received them, so that we will be able to tell you the due date of when that podcast is going to be aired, and we will be able to personally thank you in our podcast if you want to be recognized.
That's right, shout-outs, for sure.
And most importantly is that then you can be able to share that with all the people that you love, like, value, appreciate, and respect.
That's right. So what a wonderful company to be a part of, and what a wonderful future that it's looking for us and every one of our contributors and listeners. There's a lot in store that we have not really talked about yet, but that we will be talking about. Things that just go deeper and deeper into subjects like what we have already put out, but different.
Yeah, this is an open voice forum, and I want you to be able to be clear on that. It's an open voice forum. What that means is that your voice matters, your opinions matters, your wisdom matters, your insight matters, and it's going to matter to all different types of races and denominations of people all around the world. It's going to be a huge international outreach program in the very end, and it all starts with a single voice, yours.
So while our technology keeps improving the best that we can improve it, while our vision for the future keeps on growing stronger and stronger, and we keep on making those baby steps and sometimes leaps and bounds to this future that we've laid out in this podcast, all these projects, we could really use your help on Patreon. So if you are inspired by what we say on this podcast, if you think that there's value in what we say on this podcast, and if you think that it could possibly benefit anyone else's life, then two great things, wonderful things you can do for us is become a Patreon contributor. But also just sharing and liking our content is an amazing way to help us out, because the more outreach we have, the more people that we're going to be able to positively affect and positively bring something to their lives that is of benefit to them.
Absolutely, because any movement in a positive direction puts us in the right view and in the right light to be able to then exemplify what you're trying to be able to do today.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. We are so inspired for our future and so inspired to get to know you better, listeners. Thank you.
This has been another life-enhancing, authenticated podcast aired by the OIC and brought to you by the faithful OIC sponsors and contributors. Please tune in every week and subscribe to our podcast. And while you're there, explore our website with all the posts, videos, and podcasts that we have created with you in mind. While you're on the journey through our website, you will see our Patreon page where you can become a faithful contributor yourself with the freedom to be a part of our team today. Thank you.